Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today I'm going to talk about 4 brands that I think these watch investors are going to look towards to next because the market is so crazy. I'm going to give reasoning why I think these brands are poised to explode in value, and you never know. Please note this is all speculation. This is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my H. Moser Cosmic Green Dial Pioneer on their kudu strap. Absolutely love this bad boy. It's my 3rd H. Moser. And also, guys, don't forget to check out delraywatch.com. Some really cool pieces have come into stock lately. Firstly, we have the Perregaux Classique enamel dial, the 5140, the one that I widely consider to be the most beautiful watch ever made, or at least one of the most beautiful watches ever made, and the watch that got me into watches. I been staring at this piece all day. I will own one, I promise you that. I've said that statement multiple times, just not the right time at the moment, but absolutely love it. We got in a Grand Seiko GMT with the red dial and the beautiful sapphire bezel, beautiful Grand Seiko sporty model. And we have a very rare Rolex Oyster Perpetual for Domino's. These watches were made by Rolex for Domino's franchise owners to celebrate a milestone. Very, very hard to find and quite quirky. We have a his and a hers. Go take a look on our website. So guys, in this market of investors where people are buying and holding Rolex for investment, people are buying and holding FP Journe for investment, AP Royal Oaks, Nautiluses, overseas, prices have doubled, tripled, quadrupled, even gone up 100 times in some cases. And people are seeing watches as an investment vehicle. Now, while I don't particularly agree with this sentiment, I'm also not the market. So I'm going to tell you 4 watches that they may have gone up, but I do think the sights of the investor collector are going to be set on these 4 brands and why. Once again, this is not financial advice, and this is no particular order. The first one is H. Moser. I think Moser is a brand people really like, and a lot of people don't know who they were, but they've certainly grown in notoriety lately. Ed Malan, the CEO, is probably one of the smartest guys in the biz. I really love what he's doing with the brand. He's young, energetic, and just doing some great stuff. But also, independent horology has garnered massive interest lately. Voutilainen, FP Journe, even Patek Philippe, while independent, is not a small independent manufacturer, people are starting to really set their eyes on indies. And Moser is a brand that, while 3 years ago you can get one of their gold models for $5,000-$6,000 like I did, today they've at least tripled in value. And guess what? They're still massively underpriced for what you're getting, in my opinion. The level of finishing, the very small production numbers of, if I had to guess, I'd say maybe 1,200 watches a year. Could be wrong on that one, but that's just an educated guess. The history of the brand, what you get, the scarcity, the quality, it shows all the indications of, something that is poised to grow. And with a guy like Ed Malan behind the helm of this brand making so many waves, even though they're such a small size, is only doing good things. And as I said, they've gone up in value a lot recently, and I don't think they're anywhere near their top. Another one you should consider, this one is a little bit more obtuse, is Daniel Roth, a brand that is no longer in business, a brand that was purchased by Bulgari, but the old Daniel Roth signed watches have also gone up in value crazily. Known especially for their barrel, case shape, and smaller size watches, they've made some very interesting complications that people could generally get under $10,000 or even $8,000. Not so much anymore. I've noticed these pieces doubling and tripling in value. Now, this was a high horology brand that used high-end third-party movements with fantastic finishing and made some very interesting watches. It was just massively underappreciated. Now they're rolled into the Bulgari line, so there's no real talk of the name Daniel Roth anymore, but the Daniel Roth signed watches, which are now, defunct, or is it defunct if you're just purchased by someone else? Well, they're not making them anymore, are just very interesting high horology watches that they're not making any more of. So the supply is obviously strained and the demand is higher, and their prices are moving up to kind of meet that demand. And I still think, though, that you still get a ton of bang for buck even though they're higher. Then we have Urban Jurgensen, a brand that I was selling on my website for 30-40% off. A brand that, couldn't pay their bills and, pretty much dumped a lot of watches on the market, which have now sold. However, a brand that also has a very long history and has made some extremely beautiful classic watches. Excuse my voice there, they're just so darn beautiful. And that was so appreciated by watchmakers that actually Kari Voutilainen, the famous watchmaker and owner of his namesake brand, Voutilainen, purchased them. And when Kari Voutilainen purchased this brand, the entire stock on the market dried up. Kari Voutilainen is one of those crazy independents that are investment grades. And now that he bought the brand, everybody snapped up Urban Jurgensen. I still think they're undervalued, if you can even find one, because they're very hard to find at the moment. But yeah, definitely a brand on the up and up, and something that should have been on the up and up a long time ago. Just not a lot of people, or very few people, if any, knew who they were, but they made some very beautifully styled classic dress watches. Now, the last one, probably my most controversial, is GirardPerregaux, a brand that has had very weak resale value for a long time, a brand that I'm also a fan of, but a brand that's gone through some management changes. They were owned by the Kering Group, and now their CEO, I think along with external investment, even though I'm not 100% sure, purchased the brand from Kering and is now self-managed. So they are now indies. And a brand that has done a complete 180 from completely undesirable but a big name to now a big name that is desirable is moving up in value. They've consolidated their lines. They're focusing mainly on the Laureato, which a lot of people call a budget Nautilus. And guess what? Yes, it is a less expensive Nautilus slash Royal Oak, but extremely well made, in-house, very well finished, and these watches have easily doubled in value from what they were selling at last year. Now, this one, I am going to admit, I'm not entirely sure if it'll ever become investment grade. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but I can't deny what the market values are doing on these pieces. They're finally at least becoming appreciated. I know I like them. I own one personally. But yeah, prices have gone pretty insane in these. And if management plays their cards correctly, then in 5 or 6 years, who knows? They might be vying for Vacheron as king of the third place spot of the integrated watch designs. I don't put that past them, and I think they're a beautiful watch. Anyway, guys, those are the 4 brands that I think are making very good moves to becoming investment grade. Once again, I don't love that term, but it is widely used in the watch market. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really does help. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content. And of course, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.